there's a balance. There's a balance that keeps things from being chaotic. And when your zeal exceeds your thinking or when you do something, you should be doing something that you understand, or it shouldn't be a mystery to you. That's what it is, because God doesn't work in mysterious ways. God is very deliberate about what he does. Whether it be that someone was placed on this earth to be an example of something and then leave early, or someone to stay here and just never die and just go up in the rapture and be on the earth for however many thousands of years. The deliberateness of God is a mystery to the carnal mind. The world does not understand God, so to think of him as anything but mysterious is impossible for the world. You have to have the mind of Christ to understand how deliberate God is and how that works. The Song of Fools. Is ignorance. Without the mind of Christ, you won't understand. When someone gives a lot and they're happy about it, well, the world doesn't understand that. The world thinks when you keep a lot and lose a little, that is victory somehow. Because it doesn't understand blessing. It doesn't understand how the people in the world and the worldly mindset that is the mind of the world compared to the mind of Christ, that someone who has the mind of Christ knows how to make all these millions and billions of dollars and never have a financial deficit, never be hit by recessions or depressions, never have any problems like that. Because they have the mind of Christ and they understand the things that the world cannot. Whereas you have someone else who may have had a family and they start off with these millions and billions, and then this thing comes up and that thing comes up, and all of a sudden all that money's gone. And it's in the placement. So when you give in accordance with the law of blessing, then it comes back to you and you are blessed for your giving. So then when you end up with nothing, seemingly, it comes back in blessings. And you get way more than what you gave. But when you don't understand blessing and you don't understand how that works, then you'll think, if you give this much, now it's gone, you won't have it back. Because the carnal mind does not understand the things of God. But when you understand the things of God, which is only possible by having the mind of Christ, and to have the mind of Christ, you have to have some sort of relationship with Jesus. if you don't have that relationship, or if that relationship is deaf, then you don't get anywhere. But to understand blessing, and to understand giving, and to understand how you have not lost, but you have gained. And it goes to balance things. So that doesn't mean don't save money, but it does mean understand that when you make an offering, it's not in vain. That when you tithe, it's not in vain. Because to the carnal mind, an offering and a tithe are going to be interpreted as something way different than they actually are. You don't tithe to help the church. You tithe so that by spiritual law, God can protect you from the devil stealing or destroying your things. So that you will never have... So, I mean, if you have a savings and you tithe, you should never have to tap into that savings, because you won't get hit by some unexpected thing. The tithe will protect you from unexpected things. Because when you have the tithe, there's not going to be a devourer come in to damage your stove, damage your house, have the roof fall in it, because you're protected. Financially, you're protected. So, when you do have to spend money, it won't diminish the quality that you have. You will still have the same because of the tithe. You'll lose only to the effect of you. You won't lose anything beyond that. And then when you start making offerings, which is sowing seeds, then instead of it just being you never leave here, you start going up. And if you don't tithe and you make offerings, then you'll go up and down. But if you tithe and you make offerings, then you'll have the stability of the tithe and the increase of the offerings. So if you just tithe, steady. You can diminish yourself only by you, but God will protect you from the devil. He'll protect you from the devil stealing your money. And then whether you spend your money wisely, well, that's up to you. So, with the savings thing, if you go and use all your savings on something, it's not because you weren't protected. It's because, well, you weren't smart. And then when you make offerings, then your savings increases, your ability to give increases. And when your ability to give increases, your ability to have blessings come back to you increases. Because when you give, you are blessed. And it's especially when you understand how giving works, and you understand how blessing works, then you will have no financial deficits. You'll not have any... It doesn't matter what's hitting the world or hitting the country you're in. All that matters is you're under divine protection, and you're under divine increase. The tithe is divine protection. The seed, the offering, is divine increase. And when you have both of those things, there's no loss in that. And it's worth it. And the carnal mind will not understand that, because it can't go there. But when you have the mind of Christ, you have absolute clarity over these things.